Hello everyone, in this video we'll be taking a look at what white privilege actually looks like, and it seems to have less to do with being white and more to do with being the American president's son. First, I'm gonna remind you that my Patreon got deleted since I cover information liberals don't want you to know about, so please support me on way better websites that I've linked in the video description. And do check out my newsletter community on Substack instead of relying on YouTube notifications. Kind of sick of being showered with comments like this. Tons of people thinking I stopped making videos years ago. No, I haven't. I really haven't. Really. It took 17 months and 24 paragraphs into an article that at first glance seems unrelated, but buried in a New York Times report on the apparently crawling federal investigation into Hunter Biden. The paper of record revealed the truth we've long known. Hunter's laptop from hell is real, and it contains hundreds of pursuable illegal offenses. The group of attorneys investigating it came across what looks to be 140 business-related crimes, 191 sex-related crimes, and 128 drug-related crimes. We're talking shady business deals with foreign officials, including China, so well as corrupt Ukrainian corporations, along with a lot of crack smoking with prostitutes. He also claimed his dad owns 5 guns while campaigning against gun control. And speaking of Joe Biden, the laptop reveals that the president knew about his son's business operations with China, despite claiming repeatedly he's never spoken to Hunter about these business dealings. This actually isn't that hard to believe, however, as Joe Biden barely seems aware of where his own asshole is. Between falling asleep during speeches, forgetting what he's saying during speeches, and tumbling over while traveling to speeches, it's very possible he's just too old to be president and actually doesn't even know
where he is in this room right now. Can you help me? I'm cold and I miss Matlock. Where's Matlock?
I had sex!
The president's son apparently spent $30,000 in 5 months alone buying hookers and transporting them across state lines, then disguised checks made out to them as payments for medical services. The problem with this is that he isn't a man-child rock star. He's the president's son. And this level of sex addiction is especially creepy given he named his father Pedo Peter in his phone. I'm sorry, what kind of a family is this? Who would be so comfortable labeling his own dad with that word, referencing to the worst type of criminal out there, the child predator? Now, we've all seen the compilation of Joe Biden being extremely inappropriate with children that's been floating around the internet, so it just gives an extra layer of creepy to what is supposed to be a wholesome American family. Especially given what's been revealed about Joe Biden's daughter and her diary. You know, it's really funny to try and do research on this topic, only to have Google present top results, leading you to liberal Reddit fedora heads yelling fake news because they're left-wingers claiming that conservatives are defined by their tinfoil hats. Maybe the right sources is better to have over the amount of liberal outlets merely copying the same opinion. So if we want to stick to the facts, Political reported that 2 individuals have pled guilty to stealing the diary, and it is real. The Intercept reported that prosecutors have confirmed the diary as authentic, but both of these articles took the main angle that Project Veritas are a bunch of evil hacks. Whether or not that's true, I'm not commenting. I'm commenting on what has actually happened to Biden's daughter, and the way this article wrote it out is just so weird and so wrong. Listen to this, quote, "The diary's most newsworthy moments are suggestive, but stop short of making any concrete allegations against Ashley Biden's father." In the most often quoted passage, she writes, "Hypersexualized at a young age. What is this due to? Was I molested? I think so. I can't remember specifics, but I do remember trauma. I remember not liking the Woolsacks house. I remember somewhat being sexualized with a cousin. I remember having sex with friends at a young age and showers with my dad. Probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to be." End of quote. So you journalists don't think this is noteworthy at all? I'm assuming you would take the same position if Trump was taking baths with his daughter, right? You just think it's suggestive. Right. Not entirely creepy as hell. You're making me feel like I'm alone with this take? Showering with your dad and probably not appropriate. Well, that sounds more worth bringing up than just going, no evidence though. I don't want Trump as president. Now bye. You're stretching the straws for a situation that is inappropriate at best, illegal at worst. And even at best, even when it's just inappropriate, it still raises a ton of questions about what kind of a family environment this is. I mean, think about it. The American president has children. One of them has a diary where horrible incidents with numerous people are described, while the other became a crack smoker with a Grand Theft Auto-inspired lifestyle. And that's not weird to anyone? Sorry, if you were to base your perception of reality on the media, you'd start to think that's not weird to anyone? I mean, just consider the absolutely insane story about how Hunter Biden's laptop of horrors got out to begin with. The story goes, Hunter Biden showed up to the computer shop, drunk off his ass, slurred as he was speaking, and when asked about the password, he responded, "Anal fuck 69. The guy working at the tech shop also came across documents showing that Hunter Biden's income is in the millions. And to this, the repairman said, quote, "I was blown away. All that money, and this asshole couldn't even buy himself a backup hard drive." End of quote. And after this, Hunter Biden left his computers at the shop for a year. So the repair guy eventually just got tired and handed him over to the FBI, without too much happening from there on, of course. You know, if there's anything that can make you believe that American media is completely bought up by China, it's the fact that any real scandal gets buried and distorted immediately, so long as its perp is a China-friendly liberal. The New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, NBC, ABC, and Bloomberg are only a few with confirmed business ties to China. So maybe it's not that big of a surprise that American media hasn't exactly played fair with a story that essentially ties the president's son to corruption in foreign countries, known for violating human rights. You look at the excessive, overly dramatized clickbait smear articles they write about conservatives, and it's like it's impossible for them to even quote someone accurately. It's also impossible for them not to come off as a bunch of gossiping high school girls, since all the reputable news sites can do is print stuff like, "Oh my god, can you believe Tucker Carlson's favorite website is 4chan? Well, it's not. It's just the only website that actually acted like journalists comparatively to you when it comes to this scandal. Social media tech giants and mainstream media companies not only suppressed this story when it came out during the election year of 2020, they continually refused to even look at the evidence, yet felt cocky enough to make fun of anyone who found it. Obviously, it comes as no surprise that they act like this right before an election, as there is good reason to believe this could have swayed the latest American election had it been revealed when it was actually revealed, instead of being revealed a year and plus some after it was first revealed. If you think my language is confusing at this point, then that's just the sad reality of the double think I'm forced to react to. You see, despite the fact that Washington Post got a copy of Hunter's hard drive, they waited 9 months to admit it's real, and tech giants like Twitter blocked the story as soon as it came out, suspending the account of a major media outlet, as well as preventing people from sharing the story publicly as well as in private messages. You had 15 so-called intelligence experts with their great reputations coming out in the media to discredit the story when it later actually turns out to be true. Yet people have to wonder why America has so many conspiracy theorists? Try living up to the tagline you set up for your country first. How can you call this the land of the free when you don't even allow accurate information to be free? This scandal is big enough to have been able to sway the presidential election in 2020, but millions of Americans lost their insight into how creepy the Biden family is because of the fact that corporate media and social media is now the same thing, operating under the same deep state. You can't tell me that Americans don't deserve something better than a kid-fondling president who keeps falling asleep during his speeches. CannabisLight.se, the finest quality CBD products in Northern Europe. EU-regulated, non-psychoactive hemp oil, as well as buds and muscle recovery cream for the athletes. No THC, 100% legal, and you get 15% off on all products if you use the code ARIBLATTE. I personally endorse this company due to the high quality of their products. I know the people involved, they're very serious, very knowledgeable, and they know what they're doing. Make this your regular CBD provider, and you'll know what you're doing as well.